Hello, my name is Diane Reed Cecedos, and I'm going to be showcasing my tech-based creative work for the Academic Program Tracker and my portfolio for my Learning Technologies Master's degree with University of North Texas. What you're currently looking at is the dashboard for my Canvas Learning Management System. 3 out of these 4 tiles are pieces that I built exclusively for my master's program. Canvas LMS is something that I was unfamiliar with. This was my first time working with the system, and I have to say it's been a great experience. So the piece that I'm going to be sharing with you particularly is an item entitled G Suite for Education. I'm going to go ahead and open up this particular title or tile for you, and I'm going to take you through the course itself. My 12-module course was built exclusively for my middle school in Las Vegas, Nevada. My middle school is a part of Clark County School District, which is the 5th largest school district in the nation. Because we're so large, we have a pretty big student body as well as a pretty big teacher body as well. The amount of staff members that are at my school site are 60 teachers, and these teachers are very novice to G Suite for Education. Back in 2015-2016 academic year, our district had notified all schools that we would be taking the G Suite for Education conversion. At the time, it was known as Google Apps for Education. So as a result, there's a lot of teachers, not only at my site, but at others, who are not aware of this instructional technology and need to really have that awareness not only for themselves, but also to notice how it is such a wonderful communicative and collaborative application suite. So opening up this particular Canvas course, my course scope and initial directives is letting my staff know, or any learner at that point, how to actually tackle the course. Now, the way that I designed this piece was not for teachers or educators to be working individually, but they needed to be working with something called their PLCs. A PLC is a professional learning community, and PLCs are designated by department and by team. So for instance, a group of 8th grade English educators would be their own PLC. A group of 6th grade science teachers would be their own PLC. So as a PLC, these individual teachers will work together to complete the entire course itself. You can see we've got the outline or timeline of how teachers should be tackling these modules. And while it does state that there are only 11 modules, this introductory piece is its own module as well, leading up to 12 separate pieces. So within the initial scope or the introduction of the course, the teachers and PLCs have to provide a proposed timeline of how they're going to be tackling each module. And they're also going to be taking something called a pretest. Now, even though it is titled as a pretest, it's actually a survey. And the survey is a series of 15 questions, and I'll just quickly show you a few of them. These 15 questions are just starting to get a baseline, not only for the instructional technology comfort of teachers, but also, is it something that they really are wanting to incorporate? And is it something that they just aren't really quite certain how to tackle? So after these teachers go ahead and complete the series of 15 survey questions, some of them are written response, as you can see with question 14, the teachers would go ahead and begin each of their separate modules. Now, the first module is titled Understanding the Importance of 21st Century Teaching. Something that really needs to be set and really needs to be precedent with the educators is understanding that this isn't just technology for the sake of technology. What is the actual purpose? And how can we make sure that this technology suite is something that is enhancing our job as educators and also enhancing our students as the learner? So the teachers would be taking the time to go ahead and review the Nevada Educators Performance Framework, also known as the NEPF, and the Nevada Computer and Tech Standards. The NEPF is how our teachers in Nevada are evaluated on their performance. So these particular pieces are what the teachers need to emulate, not only within their classroom, but also with their students. So there's an attached PDF file that is showcasing all of those pieces and a nice, simple layout to help the teachers with their understanding. I'll go ahead, there it is. So what we have here are the series of 5 standards that the teachers are expected to tackle, and the indicators that are identifying how those teachers are making sure to include these measures within their classroom. Aside from taking a look at the NEPF and the NVACs, teachers are also starting to look at readings discussing blended classrooms and flipped classrooms. At the end of this Canvas educational course, these teachers are going to be building a Google Classroom, and the idea of their Google Classroom or the implementation needs to be determined as either a blended learning environment or a flipped learning environment. So just starting the ball rolling in that first week with teachers selecting an idea, perhaps what they would feel more strongly about of including a blended or a flipped classroom. Teachers are also taking the time in specific modules to have writings as well. And the teachers are, or the learners I should be saying, are having a rubric that is available for them as well. Now, because I am in the educator view, this is going to be a little bit different for the student view, but I felt it was best to go ahead and show you the teacher view for my portfolio and for my tech-based creative work. One of my particular favorite modules is something titled Working with Google Hangouts. Now, the idea behind working with Google Hangouts is that teachers are not only understanding what exactly is a Google Hangout, but how they can work with it, and they're also being asked to record their Hangout with the same tool that I'm currently using, Screencast-O-Matic. I really like a screen capture tool. I think it's a really valuable tool that teachers can use almost as a data bank or a library for students to review lessons at a later date. Modules not only have reading involved with them, but there are video feeds as well. The videos do differ in length, but the longest video within this entire Canvas series is 20 minutes. I didn't want to have too long of a video feed that might have the teachers start to no longer pay attention, and I would say that I'm guilty of that as well sometimes. So I really wanted to make sure that the clips that I chose were effective, efficient, and were time-worthy as well. So each one of the modules, I'll go ahead and close that. Each one of the modules is talking about a specific app of the G Suite apps. So after teachers in their first module take a look at 21st century teaching, they start uncovering what exactly is G Suite education. They would have a Google Hangout with their instructor. They would take a look at Google Hangouts themselves. They would take a look at the Google Drive, because the Google Drive really is the brain, and I can somewhat attest to it being a soul of your actual account itself. But it is really important that the teachers do understand how exactly the Drive works, and not only how it works as a cloud-based system, but also that the Drive needs to be organized. So making sure that the teachers understand those components was really important to me to incorporate within this curriculum. After looking at the Drive, teachers are asked to take a look at Module 5's Google Calendars for productivity. Following that, teachers take a look at Google Slides and Forms, and these are components that teachers might be using more so with their students. And Module 7 is when teachers start uncovering what exactly is Google Classroom, and the idea of it being a very large learning management system and a great free tool that's available to them with the G Suite application series. After the teachers take a look at the Google Classroom itself as a learning management system, now they're starting to tackle an idea and a brainstorming series of what would be an appropriate unit of study that they would like to convert to Google Classroom. So thinking about past units that they've utilized in the past before and trying to determine, would this be an easy conversion to to Google Classroom? I really do want teachers to consider for their first round with Google Classroom, a unit that really wouldn't be too difficult to convert. Sometimes if we take too large of a bite out of a project, we become a little gun shy to try it again. So these questions that I pose to them in this module is really in the hopes that they're starting to determine what would be a simple one to just try for the first round. Also, something that they're considering as well, once again, is this Google Classroom going to be incorporated as a blended or a flipped learning model? After the teachers determine what would possibly be their best unit of study for Google Classroom conversion, they would begin the outlining process. And outlining the unit is almost an instructional design in itself. So what the teachers will end up doing is actually creating their own design document. And the design document that I selected was a piece that I put together, but the pieces were based upon items that I had read, such as George Pisbridge's Rapid Instructional Design, as well as very nice blogs that had simplistic questions to get teachers thinking what could be the best way to tackle. Now, I'm just moving the screen just slightly. I apologize for that if that was a bit tricky. Here exactly is the design document that I would have the teachers be focusing in on. And again, it's a document that isn't 100% my own. It was based on some items that I was looking into through, once again, Pisbridge's Rapid Instructional Design, as well as some blogs as well. After the teachers go ahead and they outline their Google Classroom course that they are going to be developing, now they're going to actually develop the classroom unit as well. The classroom unit, putting the resources together, it takes time. There isn't necessarily an assignment that would be due within this particular module, but there's also resources that are available to them to help them in their development. Because I understood my first time making Classroom, it was a bit of guess and play, and I wanted to make it as easy as possible for my staff at my school. In the penultimate module, teachers are actually showcasing their classroom unit with a video posting through screencast onto YouTube. And finally, to conclude the unit itself, there's going to be a self-reflection and evaluation piece. Here, the teachers are going to be posting in a discussion what were the knowledge, the skills, and the attitudes that they had towards G Suite at this point, and how have those pieces changed. They're also going to be commenting on their PLC members' posts as well, just to make sure that their learning community is communicating and is able to express their ideas and hopefully work together to develop units that all of their students can complete. So with that, we are at the conclusion of my review of my tech-based creative work. Once again, this is the Canvas Learning Management System, and the component that I chose was my course titled G Suite for Education. And once again, it was built for an audience of middle school students who are being asked to convert to G Suite for Education as a collaborative and a communicative tool, not only with their colleagues, but also with their students. Thanks for watching. My name is Diane Reed Cesteros, and I look forward to continually using Canvas LMS in the future. Thank you.